Chosen one, listen carefully. There are moments in life when time bends, when heaven leans in, when what felt delayed suddenly arrives, not with explanation, but with divine finality. This is one of those moments. You're not just stumbling into a better season, you are being ushered into a holy encounter. God decides, not you, not circumstance, and certainly not your past. You've sensed something shifting. You've felt the spiritual weight growing. The tension has not been punishment. It has been positioning. Every closed door, every dry silence, every delay that made you question if you were forgotten, was heaven's way of setting the stage. Because what's coming doesn't require your striving. It requires your stillness. This isn't something you manifest. This is something you meet. And that meeting is near. God has already moved. The encounter has already been written. Now he's preparing you to step into it. Not because you've earned it, not because you've proven yourself ready, but because he has declared, now. This holy encounter is not just a moment of inspiration. It is a divine appointment, a collision between your obedience and heaven's decision. It is the kind of meeting that rewrites identity, that shifts atmospheres, that sets destiny in motion. Do not mistake the quietness of this hour for inactivity. Heaven is roaring. Angels are moving. The path you've been praying for is not being built. It has already been revealed, and your feet are being led to it, step by step, thought by thought, spirit by spirit. Here's the truth. You are not waiting for an encounter with God. God is waiting for you to recognize that the encounter has already begun. He is not showing up. He is here. The whisper in your spirit is him. The weight in your chest is him. That strange, sacred urgency you can't explain. That's him. And he is not asking for your perfection. He is asking for your full attention. Chosen one, heaven is not silent. Heaven is strategic. Every delay you've experienced was a divine detour to protect the integrity of what's about to be revealed. You have not missed your moment. You've been prepared for it. What you thought was stagnation was sacred concealment. And now, the veil is thinning. This holy encounter will not be televised. It will not be loud, but it will be unmistakable. God is coming for your heart in a way he never has before. Not to take from you, but to give what only he can. Clarity, purpose, alignment, covenant. You are not entering a season, you are entering a sanctuary. And in that sanctuary, all your striving must cease. The battle is no longer yours. The decision has been made. Heaven has voted. Favor has found you. Now God decides how and when it will unfold. Your job? Stay close, stay soft, stay submitted. Let go of your timelines. Abandon your formulas. This is not the result of your faithfulness. This is the reward of his, and because he has decided, it will come to pass. Before we go deeper, I need you to do this. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment the number 55. That number is not superstition, it is covenant. It is alignment. It is heaven's way of marking this as your divine new beginning. Now breathe, because what you're about to receive is not advice, it's encounter. Let God continue. You've asked for confirmation. You've waited for a sign. You've pleaded for proof that your obedience has not been in vain. But what you didn't realize was this. Your hunger was the sign. Your discomfort was the signal. The shaking you've been enduring is not a sign of collapse. It is the evidence of closeness. God does not shake what he plans to abandon. He only disturbs what he is about to inhabit. So if you feel like your world has been turned inside out, take heart. That's not chaos. That's construction. The ground beneath your feet has not betrayed you. It is being fortified. You've been crying out for breakthrough, not knowing that heaven was already breaking in. This encounter will not be transactional. It will not be about getting what you want. It will be about remembering who you are. And who you are is not fragile. Who you are is not forgotten. Who you are is not what the world has tried to shape. You are chosen, not by default, not by accident, but by divine intention. God's decision over your life does not require your perfection. It requires your agreement. Your yes is the gate. And even when your voice trembled, even when your obedience was laced with fear, your yes still counted. Heaven heard it, and heaven moved. The encounter approaching you is not about fireworks. It's about fire. A fire that will not burn you, but brand you. A fire that does not consume you, but clarifies you. This is the kind of holy encounter that leaves no room for confusion. When it comes, you will know. Not because something around you changes, but because everything within you becomes still. The questions will stop echoing, the noise will die down, and you will feel the weight of eternity press gently against your soul. That is when you'll know. This is not another emotional moment. This is God. Do not expect the old rules to apply anymore. What once required a struggle now comes by surrender. What once required force now comes through flow. What once felt far off now stands face to face. You don't have to chase the encounter. It's been chasing you. You will feel it in your spirit before you see it in your circumstances. The peace that doesn't make sense, the clarity that interrupts confusion, the ease that follows a season of effort. All of these are symptoms of heaven drawing near. And when it comes, it will not be about what you gain. It will be about what you leave behind. The fear that has followed you for years will fall off. The shame that has whispered your name will be silenced. The need to prove, to perform, to please, gone. Because in the presence of divine decision, insecurity has no voice. You are not just being guided, you are being confirmed. This encounter is not the beginning of your transformation. It is the unveiling of what has been maturing in the secret place. What was hidden for protection is now being revealed for purpose. Chosen one, prepare yourself, not by doing more, but by surrendering deeper. The encounter is not waiting for you to earn it. It's waiting for you to recognize it. Let the striving end. Let the wondering stop. God has decided, and his decision is final. You've waited long enough, not just in time, but in silence. You've waited through the ache of not knowing when, through the pull of questions that went unanswered, through the weight of doing everything right, and still feeling like the heavens were closed. But they were never closed. They were waiting for alignment. And now, that alignment is here. God was never stalling. He was sinking. Heaven does not rush, it reveals. And what you are stepping into now is not a moment of random favor. It is a culmination of every unseen yes you've given when no one was watching. Every time you forgave instead of retaliated. Every time you stayed when you wanted to run. Every time you believed when it made no sense. None of it was wasted. All of it was recorded. And now heaven is answering. But don't expect the answer to look like your imagination. Divine encounters are never confined to human expectations. You've pictured how it might feel. You've played the moment over in your head. But God isn't trying to meet your expectations. He's about to exceed them. Because this isn't about what you thought you needed. This is about what God always planned to give. The encounter ahead will not simply bless you. It will awaken you. It will call forth the version of you that has been dormant. It will not just soothe your wounds. It will reroute your walk. You're not just stepping into comfort. You're stepping into commission. This is why the enemy tried so hard to wear you down in the waiting. Because he knew if you ever made it to the moment of encounter, everything would shift. Not just around you, but through you. You see, this moment isn't just about restoration. It's about reassignment. God is not merely returning what was lost. He is revealing who you've become in the process. You're not the same person who prayed those desperate prayers years ago. You've changed, you've been forged, and now God is trusting you with something weightier, His presence in a deeper way. You are being given more, not because you proved yourself perfect, but because you remained present. Chosen one, hear this clearly. The encounter is not a break in your life. It is the birth of your real life. After this, the way you speak will change. The way you move will shift. You won't need to announce anything. Your presence will say what words never could. Because when God marks someone through encounter, their silence becomes louder than other people's noise. This is not hype. This is holiness. This is not motivation. This is mandate. The holy encounter that is approaching will leave no area of your life untouched. Relationships that have been draining you will begin to dissolve. Doors that once seemed essential will close without notice. Not as punishment, but as pruning. Because what God is about to reveal through you cannot be carried by old connections, old cycles, or old thinking. and you will not mourn the loss. You will recognize the shift. That is the power of divine decision. When God decides, confusion breaks. When God decides, striving stops. When God decides, your entire atmosphere realigns with destiny. So pause, breathe, and allow your spirit to catch up with what your heart already knows. This is not preparation anymore. This is the moment before the veil lifts. Get ready, he decides. This encounter will not validate your plans. It will rewrite them. You thought you knew what was next. You made peace with the direction. But God is not interested in merely blessing your projections. He is here to redirect you, radically, unmistakably, and without negotiation. You've been faithful with what you understood, but now he's calling you into what you cannot yet explain. That's the sign of a holy encounter. It leaves you without words, but filled with a clarity that silences every doubt. You will know that God has spoken not because things get easier, but because your spirit gets steadier. The same winds that once knocked you over will blow again, but they won't move you. You've been anchored by something deeper than circumstance. You've been rooted in divine choice. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to stand still and see what only God can do. He is not asking you to build something. He is revealing what's already been built. You are stepping into prepared places, into rooms you didn't campaign for, into roles you didn't plan for. Because this isn't about your ambition, it's about his appointment. God is not handing you an opportunity, he is giving you a responsibility, and with it, peace, because heaven doesn't promote with pressure, it promotes with presence. Don't expect the confirmation to come through people. They weren't there when God made the decision. They didn't witness the midnight prayers. They didn't carry the private weight. They don't have the spiritual authority to affirm or deny what God has already established. That's why this encounter must be personal, sacred, unshareable. It will not be for performance, it will be for possession. God is taking back ownership of the space in your life that fear once occupied, the space where uncertainty lingered, the space where compromise tried to live. No more. This encounter will clean house. It will reorder priorities. It will restore spiritual eyesight. What once looked like loss will now look like release. What once felt like rejection will now feel like rescue. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a divine intervention. You are not being asked to try harder. You are being summoned to trust deeper. And here's the mystery. Everything you thought would require force will now unfold with ease. That's the mark of divine timing. You won't have to manipulate, maneuver, or market yourself. Heaven will speak for you. The right people will find you. The right doors will open. The right favor will flow. Not because you pushed, but because God pointed. Chosen one, he has decided. And because he has decided, you can rest. Not in inactivity, but in divine confidence. The kind of confidence that doesn't need applause to feel seen, that doesn't need progress reports to feel productive, that doesn't need human recognition to feel anointed. Your yes is enough. Your obedience is enough. Your yielded heart is enough. The encounter will do what years of planning could not. And when it comes, it will be undeniable. Because when God marks you, you do not recover. You rise. What you're about to experience will not just answer your prayers, it will expose their deeper purpose. You've prayed for clarity, but what you're receiving is commission. You've asked for comfort, but what's arriving is calling. God is not just meeting your needs, he's awakening your identity. This encounter will strip away everything artificial, every version of you that was built to survive, every defense mechanism you learned to stay safe, every adaptation you made just to be accepted. All of it is being burned away, not to leave you empty, but to reveal the real you, the chosen you, the you that has been hidden by pain, distorted by pressure, and delayed by doubt. But no more. This is the hour where clarity comes not as information, but as identity. Not more facts, but more truth. You were not just saved to be safe. You were chosen to be seen, and now heaven is clearing the path for your unveiling. This is not self-discovery. This is divine recovery. God is restoring what fear tried to steal. Not just time, but trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your discernment. Trust in his presence. Trust that what you've been sensing is real, because it is. The reason you felt the stirring, the tension, the sudden emotional eruptions, It's not instability. It's spiritual intelligence alerting you that the moment of encounter is not far off. Your spirit is preparing before your mind can catch up. That's why logic feels like it's failing you. It was never meant to guide you here. Only the Spirit can. So stop trying to make sense of it. You weren't called to manage this encounter. You were called to meet it. Let this truth settle deep into your soul. Heaven's movement toward you has already begun. You don't need to conjure it. You don't need to manufacture momentum. You are already in motion, because God's word never returns void. And you are His word, walking. When He spoke destiny over you, He sealed it. No delay can deny it. No detour can destroy it. That's why this encounter carries so much weight. It's not about a moment, it's about a manifestation. It's not the beginning of your story. It's the unveiling of what has always been true. Chosen one, you are not late. You are not behind. You are not uncertain. You are aligned. You are where you need to be. And the moment you stop asking for evidence and start trusting the presence, everything changes. The encounter will not ask your permission. It will not knock politely. It will come suddenly, and it will settle completely. Like peace that doesn't negotiate, like light that doesn't apologize. And when it comes, you will not need confirmation. You will simply know. God decides. And when He does, no one else has a vote. Do not be surprised when the atmosphere around you begins to change. The shift will start small, people responding to you differently, environments reacting to your presence, opportunities you didn't chase suddenly appearing. This is not coincidence, it is confirmation. The encounter you've been prepared for is not just internal, it will ripple outward into every space you occupy. But listen closely, this is not the time to return to what's familiar. God is not bringing you into visitation, He is establishing habitation. He's not touching your life so you can go back to normal. He's touching your life so you can become a new standard. The pressure you've been under wasn't for nothing. It was breaking ground. Not to punish you, but to plant something eternal inside you. And now that seed is about to break the surface. But it can't grow in old soil. You must release the desire to explain yourself to those who are not called to walk with you. This encounter will not be understood by everyone, and it's not meant to be. Some will question your shift. Some will mislabel your stillness. Some will feel uncomfortable around the clarity you carry. That's not your burden to carry. You are not responsible for managing other people's reaction to your rising. You are only responsible for staying surrendered to the one who raised you. Let go of the need for agreement. Let go of the fear of being misread. The encounter that's coming is not for them. It's for you. It's the fulfillment of a covenant. And the covenant was never made with the crowd. It was made with the called. There's a reason you felt increasingly disconnected from old patterns, old friendships, old environments. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. Heaven has been quietly drawing a line between what used to support you and what now restricts you. And in this hour, God is calling you to cross that line, not to reject others, but to obey Him. Because the weight of this encounter demands room. Room in your schedule, room in your mind, room in your spirit, room that can only be made when you release what no longer fits. This is sacred ground, and sacred ground is always quiet before it is holy. The silence you felt, that was not absence. That was awe. Heaven has been standing still, watching you yield, watching you trust, watching you prepare your altar. And now, fire is coming. Not to destroy, but to mark. You are about to be marked in a way that makes turning back impossible. What used to tempt you will lose its pull. What used to paralyze you will break off without resistance. What used to define you will become dust. Because after a true encounter, identity is not a question, it is a declaration. Chosen one, you are not becoming, you have become. Now watch what happens when God confirms it. You've walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where obedience felt like silence and faith felt like waiting, where you watched others advance while you stayed hidden. But it wasn't punishment, it was precision. God wasn't ignoring you, He was insulating you. Because what's sacred must be shielded until it's ready. And now heaven is ready. What's been incubating in the invisible is about to manifest in the undeniable. And it won't come with thunder, it will come with truth. a deep, immovable knowing that God has stepped in, that His hand is not just upon you, it's guiding you, guarding you, and going before you. This is not elevation for the sake of influence. This is exposure for the sake of assignment. God is not making you seen to boost your visibility. He's making you seen to validate His voice. And when He does, there will be no need to announce it. Divine encounters speak for themselves. You will feel it in the way you move, in the ease that follows former effort, in the clarity that settles where confusion once lived, in the peace that holds steady even when storms rise. That's when you'll know this isn't inspiration. This is impartation. The presence of God is not visiting you just to comfort you, it's commissioning you. You will begin to walk with a different rhythm. Your pace will shift, not hurried, not anxious, but deliberate. Because when heaven has spoken, there is no need to rush. The path will unfold step by step, and each step will be lit. Not because the road is easy, but because it's ordained. You will no longer feel the need to strive for what already belongs to you. Your posture will change, your prayers will deepen, your discernment will sharpen. Because now, you are walking in the aftermath of a holy encounter. What once felt unreachable will feel native. What once felt overwhelming will feel appointed. This is the moment when destiny becomes daily. No more striving to believe. You will know. No more grasping for signs. You will live in the flow. No more questioning your worth. You will embody the answer. This is what happens when heaven decides, when the weight of divine will presses into your life and overrides every earthly obstacle. When God says, "Now," there is no resistance that can withstand it. Chosen one, God has not asked you to understand this moment. He has asked you to receive it. And when you do, fully without fear, you'll realize you've been prepared all along. You will begin to see the evidence, not just in what comes to you, but in what no longer affects you. The same battles that once consumed your energy will now barely stir you. Not because you've become indifferent, but because you've become established. Peace is no longer a pursuit, it is your new default. This is the aftermath of a holy encounter. When God marks your life, the atmosphere around you must respond. What once drained you will start to repel from you. What once confused you will now reveal itself clearly, and what once seemed impossible will now feel inevitable. You are not stepping into a better version of your life. You are stepping into the one heaven always intended. That's why certain doors had to stay shut. That's why some connections had to fall away. Not because you weren't worthy, but because they couldn't carry what's about to be birthed through you. God isn't just giving you a blessing. He's establishing you as a blueprint. And blueprints don't just build, they redefine. You're about to be used to set new standards, not by force, by presence. The kind of presence that speaks without striving. The kind of grace that makes room without needing validation. The kind of favor that flows simply because you stayed faithful. The encounter you're about to walk into will mark more than a moment. It will birth a movement. Through your words, through your story, through your posture, you will carry the fragrance of one who has met God and did not flinch. One who was found faithful in the wilderness and came out carrying fire. This fire will not be loud, it will not be flashy, but it will be undeniable. It will warm rooms grown cold with compromise. It will convict without condemnation. It will create hunger in those who have settled for less. You will not need to promote it. It will be sensed, felt, known. Heaven's imprint cannot be hidden. This is why the process was so personal, why the pain went so deep, why the silence lasted so long, because what God is placing on your life could not be imitated. It had to be imparted. You've been entrusted with something weighty, and now God is trusting you to carry it with reverence. This is no longer about survival. This is about stewardship. What you've been given is not fragile. It is holy, and it's only just beginning. You are no longer waiting for permission. Heaven has already spoken. And when heaven speaks, the earth must align. Every delay, every denial, every detour, they all bow to divine decision. This is not a future hope. It is a present reality. The encounter has begun, and now the unfolding will not stop. You'll notice it in your thoughts. They'll become clearer, sharper, more spirit-led. The confusion that once clouded your vision will lift. You'll notice it in your speech, words carrying weight, wisdom, and authority you didn't study for. It's not coming from your intellect. It's coming from the mantle you now carry. That's what divine encounters do. They transfer more than insight. They deposit identity. You are not here to blend in. You are here to bear witness, to walk in such alignment that others remember who they are when they see who you've become. Not because you tried to impress them, but because God imprinted himself on you. This is not influence. This is imprint. This is not a platform. This is presence. And presence always precedes power. God is not elevating you for applause. He is sending you for awakening. You are now a signpost, a living testimony of what happens when obedience meets encounter, when surrender becomes substance, when waiting becomes witnessing. There's a weight on your life now, but it will not feel heavy. It will feel holy. It will not drain you. It will steady you. You'll find yourself moving slower, not out of fatigue, but out of certainty. No need to rush. No need to impress. God has already gone before you. Every step you take now is covered. Every word you speak now is commissioned. And every environment you enter is under divine surveillance. Heaven is not observing from a distance. Heaven is walking with you. This is what it means to be chosen. Not simply favored, but responsible. You carry what others dismissed. You heard what others ignored. You believed when it didn't make sense. And now, you walk in what others will one day seek. Don't doubt the path. Don't look back. The old you cannot walk where the new you is being sent. And do not be surprised when the doors that once denied you begin to open without effort. That's not promotion. That's prophecy being fulfilled. You are the evidence that God decides. And when he does, no man, no system, no force of darkness can reverse it. Chosen one, this is your moment to walk as one who has seen. Not merely believed, not merely hoped, but encountered. And because of that encounter, everything changes. Your view of time shifts. Your sense of urgency no longer comes from pressure, but from purpose. You're not chasing moments. You're responding to momentum. You'll find yourself discerning things before they happen. Not because you've become more analytical, but because the Spirit is now guiding your instincts. What others call coincidence, you'll recognize as confirmation. What others miss, you will catch, because your eyes have been trained in the silence of obedience. This is what makes you different. Not louder, not flashier, just clearer. And with that clarity comes a quiet authority that changes rooms. You won't have to force outcomes. God's favor will go before you like a banner, declaring his decision before you ever speak. When you move, it will be as one sent. Not searching, not uncertain. Sent. Every delay that once made you question your path will now look like strategy. Every hardship that once made you doubt your calling will now appear as training. You were never being punished. You were being trusted. God saw your endurance, not just your ability to keep going, but your ability to keep believing when nothing around you agreed. And that faith, tested, refined, unshaken, is the foundation he now builds upon. Do not diminish it. Do not question it. This is what heaven values. Not charisma, but covenant. You didn't survive by luck. You endured by grace. And now that grace is turning into glory, not the kind that draws attention to you, but the kind that makes others sense him. This is what divine encounters produce. They don't make you impressive, they make you undeniable. And from this moment forward, let this be your truth. You don't have to strive to be chosen. You are. You don't have to prove you're ready. You are. You don't have to explain why it's your time. God has already decided. And when God decides, everything aligns, and now something within you knows it's already begun. The shift, the clarity, the unfolding. You don't feel the same. You don't walk the same. You're no longer reacting from fear or reaching for approval. You're walking in alignment because heaven has sealed this moment with decision. There is no more striving for confirmation. You are the confirmation. Your survival, your perseverance, your hidden victories, each one is a signature on heaven's decree. You have been set apart for such a time as this, not by coincidence, not by merit, but by mercy. And mercy does not need to be explained. It just flows. From this day forward, you move differently, not cautiously but carefully, not hurried but wholly, because what you carry now is not light, it is legacy. God is not just moving in your life for you, He's moving through your life for others. Generations will benefit from this encounter. Entire atmospheres will be changed because you said yes. This is no longer about how you feel. This is about what's been finalized in the Spirit. And the Spirit says, it is time. Time to let go of the narratives that kept you small. Time to release the versions of you that served survival but can't serve destiny. Time to embrace that you have been chosen, not because you knew how to lead, but because you knew how to listen. And now that you've listened, heaven has answered. This encounter will not end when the feeling fades. It will keep unfolding, in rooms you haven't entered yet, in lives you haven't touched yet, in assignments you haven't even seen yet. The seed has been planted. The moment has been marked. The chosen one has been confirmed. Heaven has spoken. God decides. This isn't the end of something beautiful. It's the beginning of something unstoppable. What you've just stepped into isn't a phase. It's not a temporary elevation or a fleeting breakthrough. This is permanence, covenant, the kind of transformation that cannot be undone by mood swings, mistakes, or misunderstanding. Because God doesn't just touch your life to inspire you, He touches it to claim you. There's a new authority resting on you now, not because you asked for it, but because you endured enough to carry it. You may not feel qualified. That's fine. You were never chosen based on qualification. You were chosen based on capacity. And through every trial, God was expanding that capacity. That's why you wept so hard. That's why the warfare felt endless. That's why the silence stretched longer than your expectations could tolerate. You weren't being ignored. You were being enlarged, and now the oil flows freely because the crushing did its work. This is why you won't have to beg anymore, for attention, for favor, for direction. Everything is drawn to the anointing, and the anointing is now on you. You didn't inherit it through inheritance. You earned it through endurance, and because of that, no one can take it from you. Do not second-guess the open doors. Do not question why you're being noticed, called, needed. You're not lucky, you're trusted. God has seen your heart stay soft when bitterness tried to harden it. He's seen you honor even when you were overlooked. He's seen you stay when leaving would have been easier. And now He says, I've chosen you to carry my presence in a way few ever do. This is why things will feel different moving forward. Your discernment will heighten. Your boundaries will tighten. Not from fear, but from reverence. You are hosting something holy now. Your life is no longer just yours. It is a tabernacle, a place where God meets people, a place where His glory rests. And for that reason, some things you once tolerated will now feel unbearable. Some habits that once felt harmless will now feel heavy. That's not condemnation, that's consecration. The encounter didn't just change your direction, it changed your definition. You are no longer someone waiting for a word. You are the Word. God is sending you to places that are spiritually dry, emotionally broken, atmospherically confused, not to survive, but to realign. You are now a living answer to prayers people haven't even prayed yet. So walk with grace, but walk with boldness. What's been placed on your life is not delicate, it's deliberate, and it is ready. And now, chosen one, rest in this truth. Nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. You don't need to search for proof anymore. You are the evidence. Your life, your journey, your survival, it all testifies to the faithfulness of God. You've walked through fire and didn't burn. You've stood in storms and didn't break. And now you emerge not wounded, but marked. The encounter didn't leave you fragile. It left you fortified. You don't need to explain this season to anyone. The fruit will speak, the favor will speak. The peace on your face will say more than your mouth ever could. Because when God decides, the results are undeniable. This is the moment you leave behind the weight of almost, the ache of delay, the residue of rejection. You were never disqualified. You were never too late. You were simply being refined for something that would require more than talent. It would require trust. And now trust is your portion. You will walk with it, speak from it, live by it. You've encountered Him, and that encounter has changed your name in the Spirit. You are no longer the one who waits. You are the one who walks. You are no longer the one who wonders. You are the one who knows, so go forward, not as someone hoping to be chosen, but as someone who carries the authority of divine decision. You are sent, you are sealed, you are sustained. God has decided. And now the world will see what heaven always knew. The chosen one has risen.